Now, the SEC championship rematch of Georgia and Alabama, 24-21 Alabama in Athens. All right. It wasn't like the last one. Them two haven't played yet. These two have played. Okay. I don't think these are the same team since the last time they played, though. I feel like Georgia's really started to hit their stride. I know the game versus Georgia Tech was awful offensively, but Mississippi State and Texas, that was some of the best football we have seen from Georgia all year, if not the best. Okay. And Alabama, you can say the vice versa. Okay. So look at Georgia's last two SEC games. You're like, that's the Georgia we know. And then you look at Alabama's last two SEC games, down to the wire versus Auburn, and got beat by OU. Ty Simpson, like 19 of 35, 122 passing versus Auburn. You are a pass-heavy team. Jam Miller might not be playing. Cuevas might not be playing. Cam Dewberry might not be playing. LT Overton is out. This Alabama team has taken some hits, all right? You're down your top two backs. You got Daniel Hill and A.K. Deere at running back. One of them was a true freshman. And you hadn't had a run game all year. Are you going to just magically get one against one of the best run defenses in the country in Georgia? I know Alabama went in Athens and won that game, but this ain't. Neither of these are the same teams. And what I'm getting at is when I say Georgia ain't the same team, they have gotten a lot better. My biggest critique on Georgia throughout the year was they hadn't found a pass rush. And then when they went and played Mississippi State, I preached that they had to find it because if they didn't, they would get beat by Texas or be in a ball game if they did not find that pass rush. Well, they found it for Mississippi State. They found it, and it's carried over, and it carried over to Texas. They were eating Arch Manning alive, okay? They were all over him. I just called him March Manning. Anyway, they were all over him. They sent the house. They got there with 4, 5, 6, 7. It did not matter. They sent them, and they got there, okay? They only got 3 sacks, but if you watch the game, they were all over that dude all day, all right? Can they get over Ty Simpson, all right? Because Ty picked him apart last time we saw him play because they didn't put pressure on him. If you give Ty Simpson time to throw, I fully believe he can pick you apart, all right? Auburn didn't give him time to throw, and you see that in the stats, okay? OU got after him. He put up some good numbers, but OU got after him and forced turnovers, okay? Georgia's going to have to get after him, all right? I think that is one of the biggest keys of the game, especially for Georgia on defense. I think the biggest key is getting after Ty Simpson, causing pressure on the quarterback. If you put pressure on him, he's going to make mistakes. Simple as that. You got to put pressure on him, and I think they do, okay? Kirby Smart is an evil genius. He is a defensive mastermind. He already got beat once. I don't think he's getting beat twice, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and tell you before I ramble through all that. I got Georgia winning this game. Georgia's going to win. They're going to get a little payback. Alabama's still in the playoff. Don't sweat it, Roll Tide. They're still in, okay? They're still in. Don't freak out, okay? Whew. The injuries, though, that plays a big part for me. The one guy who's shown to consistently possibly run the ball for Alabama, he might not play. And if he does play, he's not 100%. Cuevas, he is a huge part of your offense. You missed him dearly versus Auburn. He might not play. Cam Dewberry started on the line all year. He might not play. LT Overton, if you watch the game versus Georgia, the 4th and 1 no huddle call, y'all remember that? They hand off to Cash Jones, and it got completely blown up, and Alabama stuffed it, and that basically won the game. I feel like that won the game to me. That's what did it. Yeah. You know the guy who blew it up? LT Overton. Yeah, he blew it up. And y'all can be like, oh, it was a stupid play. Yeah, it looks stupid because it didn't work. Go back and watch the play. Imagine it if LT gets blocked. Imagine that right tackle gets the block on LT Overton. You know what happens? Cash Jones runs the end zone. Georgia wins the football game. But that didn't happen because he blew it up. Now he's not playing on Saturday. Georgia going to be without their center. Bobo's going to be out. All right, they're the more healthy team, okay? How much of a does that play? I think it plays a huge one. Okay, I'm not saying both these teams ain't beat up, but Georgia is in better shape according to the injury report. Okay, they've looked a lot better. And I said the key to the game on their defense side of the ball was getting a pass rush on Ty Simpson. Okay, I think Alabama's key to the game is not letting them have that. They got to keep doing what they do best, and that is sling the ball. I'm not even going to say they got to run the ball because they don't care about running the ball. All right, and they really don't. They want to sling it. They use their quick game as a way to run the ball hand in hand. Alabama can't let them get a pass rush because if they don't, they can pick apart this D. And if Georgia gets a pass rush, they're going to cause havoc, and it's going to be a bad day for Alabama, just being honest. If Georgia has a pass rush, it's going to be a bad day for Alabama. Now, on the other side of this, Alabama has struggled mightily versus the run. Okay, they aren't god-awful versus the run, but they have struggled versus the run. They have especially struggled against running quarterbacks, okay? And you're like, oh, really? Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to read off a few stats. Ashton Daniels last week, 258 passing, 108 rushing. I know they won the game. Dude put up over 350 yards of offense, all right? And he was a backup a few weeks ago. Lenore Sellers, 222 yards passing, 67 rushing yards. He gave Alabama a run for their money, all right? John Mateer, he beat Alabama. He is a mobile quarterback, and his stats don't tell they didn't do anything. But I wanted to put him in there just because he's a mobile quarterback, and it helps my case because he beat Alabama. All right. Tommy Castellanos beat Alabama, 152 passing, 78 rushing. Diego Pavia, he had a 36-yard run. All right. And they did struggle with him a little bit. Okay. They got to contain Prabula. Game came down to the wire. 3-point win at Missouri. Dude had 61 yards rushing. Okay. They've struggled with mobile quarterbacks. Have they just been the death of Alabama? No. But they have struggled with mobile quarterbacks. They have struggled to stop the run. Georgia runs the football. But I think the key to the run game and to this game is Gunnar Stockton's legs. He did not have a good game the last time these two teams played, okay? I think his legs are the absolute key to this team. Can Gunnar Stockton get his legs moving? He had a 51 versus Ole Miss. He had 50-something versus Ole Miss, and he had 31 versus Mississippi State. Okay, big runs, big plays. Georgia's going to need that. All right? Georgia's going to need them big runs again. And I feel confident that they're going to get them. Okay? I think they're going to get them. Like I said, this Alabama's team's banged up. Okay? They've already got other starters already out that I hadn't even mentioned. Now you just add them to the plate. Okay? Alabama, they're number 11 versus the pass. Okay? Georgia, they got a good passing attack, but they're number 40 versus the run. They allow 134 yards per game. Georgia, on the other hand, they're number 27 run-o in the country, 191 yards per game. And they run the ball 57% of the time. They got a healthy stable of backs. You got Nate Frazier. You got Chauncey Bowens, who's now off the injury report. Cash Jones, like I said, your third down back. Feed them, man. Feed them. All right? And you got the key, I think, in Gunnar Stockton. Let Gunnar Stockton have it. Let him run the football. Because I feel like that's how you're going to open this game up. If you can get his legs moving, I think you got a full key. If Stockton has 50 yards rushing, I will go ahead and say that Georgia won this game. Just without even telling him. He had 59 versus Ole Miss. My bad. If he has over 50 yards rushing, Georgia wins. Simple as that. They struggled to stop the mobile quarterbacks, like I said. They're banged up. And back to being banged up. What does offense look like without Jam? I know we've seen it without Jam some this year. But, I mean, now you're even more banged up. You ain't had a run game all year. You're in the SEC championship versus a team that stuffs the run. They found a pass rush. I just question how good this Alabama team's going to play. And even if Jam plays, he's not 100%. All right? And Ty Simpson, they can't hit a deep ball to save their life. Turn on Alabama. Turn on the deep balls. They struggle to connect on them really bad. Do they have an elite group of wide receivers? Absolutely. Elite group, okay? Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, who didn't get a single target last week. Lozier Brooks, Isaiah Horton hat trick last week, okay? I know he only threw for 122. Simpson did have 3 touchdowns, though. Okay, I got to give him credit, too. Isaiah Horton had 3 of them, all 3. Man. I just question this Alabama team. And I mean, if this is Nick Saban team, I probably wouldn't question it at all. But it's not Nick Saban no more, all right? Kalen DeBoer, you've never coached an SEC championship. Have you beat Kirby Smart twice now? Yes, you have. You never played Kirby in an SEC championship, though, okay? And I know you beat him in Athens. You beat him at home, too. But this is Atlanta, and it's different. This is the SEC. And right now, the eye test, they love to use that word on the command. The eye test tells me Georgia. Okay, watching these teams over the last month tells me Georgia. These ain't the same teams that played earlier in the year, and I'm glad we actually get a rematch of them. Okay, it'd be a simple fix, just like Notre Dame, Miami play again. But yeah, whatever. Georgia, I know I'm just feeding on Georgia doing this, doing that, but I think all the keys to the game lead to them winning. All right. I don't think Alabama's going to stop them from running the ball. Okay. I don't think that Alabama's injuries aren't going to affect them. They are. It showed last week it affected them. Okay. Just Jam being out doesn't just affect the run game because, one, you don't really have one, and two, the pass pro with it. All right. He's your best pass blocking back. I mean, it's just simple, man. And I don't. My gut's telling me Georgia. My mind's telling me Georgia. I am all over Georgia this game, man. I think Georgia is going to just, I'm not going to say dominate, but I think they win this game by at least 10. Call me crazy. I know they lost in Athens, and it might be stupid to say it. I got Georgia winning this game. I'm not going to make the prediction by 10. I can see it. I'm not going to make that prediction. I got Georgia winning. I think they're going to run the ball effectively on Alabama this time around. I think their pass game is going to be better because Stockton is going to use his legs. And if he uses his legs, the run game opens up more, the pass game opens up more. And then on the defense side of the ball, they didn't have that pass rush that they have found recently. Okay. I think they're going to bring the house. They're going to get to Simpson. They're going to cause mistakes. And I think they're just going to own this game. Okay. This is Georgia's game to lose in my mind. They got payback on their mind. I think they're going to get it. Give me Georgia.